Singapore is taking a dramatic step in their battle against falling birth rates, putting more money behind the decision to have children. The city-state has announced a major expansion of financial support for families, with the government promising stronger and more sustained assistance from the moment a child is born through the teenage years. But this is not simply about giving parents a one-off baby bonus. Singapore is redesigning its entire approach to supporting families. So why is one of the world's most developed countries willing to spend billions supporting childbirth? And can money actually convince people to have more children? The announcement came during Prime Minister Lawrence Wong's 2026 National Day rally, where the government unveiled a new SG child support package aimed at helping Singaporean families deal with the rising cost of raising children.
One of the greatest gifts we can give parents is more time with their children. Over the years, we have significantly expanded paid parental leave. Today, parents receive up to 30 weeks of government paid leave. That's 16 weeks of maternity leave, 4 weeks of paternity leave, and 10 weeks of shared parental leave. When you add it all up, that's 7.5 months of paid leave. It's a lot. Can we go further? I won't rule it out. But these leave arrangements have just been introduced, and employers do need time to adapt. So we will let these changes settle in first. But there is one area where we can do more now, and that's childcare leave. Today, childcare leave is not tied to the number of children you have. It's the same whether you have one child or more. Every working parent now receives 6 days if their youngest child is 6 years or below, 2 days if their youngest child is 7 to 12 years old. That's for every working parent. Many parents tell us this is not enough, because having more children means greater caregiving responsibilities. And older children still need their parents. The needs are different, but they do not go away. So parents often end up using their own annual leave. So we will increase childcare leave. And we will do it such that the more children you have, the more leave you will get. Here is what the new arrangement looks like. Every working parent will get 8 days with one child, aged 12 and below, 10 days with 2 children, aged 12 and below, and 12 days with 3 children, 3 or more children. When you add it up, the increase is significant. Take a working couple with 3 primary school children. Today, they receive 4 days of childcare leave. With these changes, they will receive 24 days. So this will give parents more time and much greater flexibility to care for their children. Today, the financial cost of child-related leave is shared between the government and employers. We have reviewed this arrangement. I have decided that the government will cover the cost of all statutory child-related leave up to the reimbursement limit. This will reduce, of course, the financial burden on employers. And with the government paying for the leave, let us be very clear. Employers should be more supportive of employees who are parents. So I ask all employers to do your part. Support parents in your organizations and give them confidence to take the leave they are entitled to. Help them settle back into work afterwards. Make sure that becoming a parent never becomes a disadvantage in someone's career. Remember, parents who feel supported are better able to give their best at home and at work. That is good for families, good for employers, and good for Singapore.
Under the new package, every eligible Singapore citizen child will receive support from birth through age 17. The government says the combined support will amount to around 70,000 Singapore dollars per child when the new package is considered alongside continuing support measures. One of the most striking changes is the introduction of a $10,000 baby gift for Singapore citizen children born from April 1st, 2027. The money will be paid in 2 installments during the child's first year. But the support does not stop there. The government is also introducing child credit worth $32,000 with eligible children receiving $2,000 annually until the year they turn 16. There will also be support linked to education and other child-related needs as the child grows. This represents a major shift in Singapore's family policy. Previously, the country's baby bonus system gave different levels of support depending on birth order. Families with a third, fourth, or subsequent child could receive larger benefits. Under the new system, Singapore is moving towards providing the same level of support to every eligible child, regardless of whether that child is the first, second, or fifth in the family. The change is significant because Singapore has been battling a demographic problem that many developed economies are now confronting. People are marrying later, families are having children later, and many couples are choosing to have fewer children than previous generations. The result is a shrinking pool of young people relative to the older population. That creates a serious economic challenge. A country needs workers to support businesses, pay taxes, and provide essential services. At the same time, an aging population requires greater spending on healthcare, pensions, and social support. Singapore's government has therefore spent years trying to make having children financially easier. The existing baby bonus scheme already provides substantial assistance. Under the current system, eligible families can receive cash payments and government contributions into child development accounts. For example, families with a first or second child can receive up to $20,000 or $23,000 respectively, while families with a third or fourth child can receive up to $32,000 under the existing structure. Families with a fifth or subsequent child can receive up to $38,000. The government has also introduced additional assistance for larger families. But policymakers now appear to be saying that the financial pressure of raising children extends far beyond the first few years. Housing is expensive, childcare costs money, parents need time away from work, education is costly, and many couples worry about balancing demanding careers with family responsibilities. That is why the latest measures goes beyond simply putting money into parents' bank accounts. Singapore has announced enhanced child-related leave, additional financial support, preschool assistance, and housing measures designed to make starting and raising a family easier. There is also an important political message behind the package. Singapore is effectively telling young couples that having children should not mean sacrificing their economic security. The government has acknowledged that parents want more time for caregiving, help with the cost of raising children, affordable preschool, and housing support as family grows. But here comes the difficult question. Will this incentive actually produce more babies? That is where the debate becomes complicated. Financial support can reduce some of the costs associated with raising children, but people do not make decisions about marriage and parenthood based on money alone. Career pressures matter. Housing matters. Relationship stability matters. Work-life balance matters. And personal attitude towards parenthood matters. A government can make having children cheaper, but it cannot completely control whether couples feel ready to become parents. Singapore itself recognizes that financial support is only one part of the solution. The new measures therefore combine money with leave policies, childcare, housing, and broader family support. The government has also explicitly stated that one of the policy objectives of the baby bonus has been to encourage couples to have more children. That makes the latest announcement much bigger than a welfare program. It is demographic policy. Singapore is attempting to influence the future size and structure of its population, and the consequences extend beyond individual families. If Singapore succeeds in raising its birth rate, it could help strengthen the country's future workforce and reduce some of the pressure created by an aging population. If the incentives fail, policymakers may have to consider even more aggressive measures. That could mean greater childcare support, more housing assistance, longer parental leave, or other policies aimed at changing the economics of family life. There is also another important detail. The new package is not simply rewarding larger families with increasingly large payments. Instead, Singapore is moving towards a system where every child receives substantial support. That means the first child receives the same broad package as later children. The government says this shift is intended to provide stronger and more sustained support while treating every child equally. The first payments under the new package are scheduled to begin in April 2027. Until then, eligible families can continue receiving existing baby bonus benefits, with children already enrolled in the current scheme transitioning to the new package. So Singapore is not literally paying people a simple cash amount to have a baby and then walking away. It is building a much broader financial support system around childhood. And that distinction matters, because the real challenge Singapore faces cannot be solved by one payment. The country is trying to make parenthood financially sustainable in a country where the cost of living, career expectations, and demographic pressures are all moving in the same direction. The experiment will now be closely watched. If Singapore's birth rate responds, other countries facing similar demographic decline may look closely at the model. If it does not, governments around the world may learn another lesson, that money can reduce the cost of having children, but it may not be enough to persuade people to have them. And that leaves Singapore facing one of the most difficult questions confronting modern society. Can a government pay enough to change the way an entire generation thinks about family and parenthood? Singapore is about to find out. Many thanks for watching. I am Cassie Tony.